At your lesson, we were talking about tone production, and we talked about thinking about the lane that your bow is in, right? Okay, so why don't you demonstrate what the lanes are? So I do one out here, right? So can you save your bow on the string so everybody can see? So that's lane 1. Some people call it lane 5. I just happen to do lane 1. So the lanes are about the width of the bow here. So 2 would be here, 3 is in the middle, 4 is there, and 5 is here. Okay. Now, I think you told me which lane sounded the best.
It's lane 4.
Lane 4, and that works for most notes. So about the only time we play out here is when we're in orchestra, when the conductor says 2 hairs of the bow or something like that. Then you need to play out here. Sometimes they even say play with the fingerboard because the 20 violins all playing the same thing and the clarinet gets the solo or something, right? So we hardly ever play there. This lane right here is actually, doesn't sound bad. Lane 2 doesn't sound bad. Can you just play the first note of the piece, the G? Okay, so that sounded pretty, right? All right, now play it in lane 4. Prettier, right? Definitely louder. This piece starts forte. It's marked forte. Now, to get closer to the bridge, you're going to need to make some adjustments, and we didn't talk about this at the lesson. So, can you set your bow in lane 2 again, and set it at the frog, because you do play this at the frog, right? Okay. Now, bring your bow into lane 4. Okay, now, which seems more comfortable to you?
Well, since I have a smaller violin, lane 2 seems more complicated.
Lane 2. Actually, I don't think it's because it's smaller. I think it has to do just with your bow arm, okay, and your bow hand. So this is the spot that your first finger is supposed to be touching the stick, right? Between these 2 joints right here, okay? Dorothy DeLay once said the only person she knew played well like this was Yasha Hyvitz, and he did play really well like that. But if only one person plays well a certain way, then, you know, it doesn't work for most people. So, in fact, that used to be called the Russian bowl, but even somebody my age, so a long time ago when she was in college in the Moscow Conservatory, her teacher, they had stopped teaching that bowl. But our students often go into that bowl without us wanting them to, okay, because the pinky's not doing its job, right? So we want to make sure that this part of the hand right here, the bow first finger, needs to be in the shape of a rainbow from here to here. Now, I actually would have you play like that for a while. And then later on, then I'd say, okay, well, maybe you can not let it just completely hang out. Now, are you supposed to stiffen it to keep it like that? No, okay? So, but if we're really used to going like this, then we actually have to consciously think about making this go into that rainbow shape, or it's just going to go straight back to its old habit. All right, now, do you mind if I roll up your sleeve? Because it's kind of hard to see your wrist. Okay, so you get your feet in a good V shape. Very good, all right. Up. Okay, so set your bow once again. Set it like you normally do on the A string at the frog, or on the E string, sorry, on the E string. Okay, now, I'm going to tweak this here a little bit. Can you let your hand feel like it's hanging from your wrist? So your hand's hanging from the wrist. Okay. And then keep this really soft, this part of the hand right here, that rainbow shape. And then I think we talked about putting some double-sided tape. So I suggest getting double-sided tape. If it's a wood bow, get removable double-sided tape, otherwise you'll take the varnish off after a while. And take about a 1/4-inch strip, and you have to change it about every day because the sticky stuff wears off. And you put it right where the finger is going to go, the pinky finger, right above the eyelid. So that works for almost everybody's hands, to put it right above the eyelid, because what you want is to have this circle that's created. It's not necessarily going to touch right there, but you can see that there is like a loop that's created between this finger and her thumb. And so if she were to have the pinky out here, these fingers would have to move down, and then the balance is off, right? So we create this loop mainly between the middle finger and the thumb. Or sometimes, for some people, if you touch both fingers like this, then that helps. And then keep this very relaxed right here. All right, so go ahead and put your violin up. Okay, so now, I'm going to help you move your bow over to the string. I want you to just completely relax from your shoulder, okay? So all you have to do is just keep your violin there and keep everything really nice and relaxed. All right, so you're actually coming up above the string, and then you're leading down with your elbow. So, do you know how a helicopter lands? They actually come straight down, right? Okay, so this is something that I'm just going to help you do this, and then it's something that you probably have to maybe have your teacher help with. I call it the 4-part bow set, because what we want to do is be able to land the bow on the string and have the hand in a really relaxed position here. See, if I just do that, your hand already looks more relaxed. Does it seem? It seems weird though, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so the 4-part bow set is this. So you bring the bow over to the violin, almost touch it, come up eye level with the adjusting screw. Now that's the easy part. And then the tricky part is this. You're going to pivot your hand up like this. So I helped you do it. I'm putting my finger here. I don't know if everybody can see. So actually, you can start this by doing this with a pencil. So if she had a pencil in her hand, then she just practices going like this. So the wrist is very flexible, and when she ends, she's going to have her hand in this hanging down position. All right, so let's do it once again. Put your feet in a good V and knees forward. Good. Okay, I like how you're keeping that rainbow shape. That's awesome. So in, up. Now you're going to lead up with your wrist. Okay, so what we don't do is come down this way with our hands. So we're leading up with the wrist, and that is going to tip the over. So that time we just went to the E string level. All right, and then that's the 4th part is coming down. So it takes some time to kind of get that feeling of doing it. May I just show you? Okay. So why don't you stand there, and then, because some people are taking a video. So it's in, up, think, over like this. So I went to the D level there. Think, come down, and then do the pinky wiggle. So some of you might have watched Richard Aaron do this. That's where I got that idea. You just rest the bow on the string. You're not holding up the string. The bow is being supported by the string. And then just let your pinky wiggle, and just do it twice. You don't need to do it a lot. And so you feel like your hand is just hanging there in the air, and it feels totally relaxed. Okay? So the hardest part of this, for sure, is this part right here, Anna, because that's why I say think. So I actually set the metronome, because otherwise I found that my students will, they'll like race through it, and then it's not correct. So I usually set the metronome at 60, or maybe even slower. And so I'll just tap my foot. So I go in, up, think, 2 ticks to go over, think, lead down with the elbow, wiggle. All right, so it takes a little bit of time to do that, but then you've got this awesome bow arm that's easy to get into lane 4 this way. All right, the way you're setting your bow up, with your elbows a little bit low, and then it's hard to, you see how that looks, so it's not relaxed, all right? So I'm gonna have you do one other thing that we didn't do earlier. Here. And I'll give that to you. Great. It's called the suspended arm exercise. Did I have you do that? I don't think so. Right, okay, all right. So here's the suspended arm exercise. You come up like this. You pretend again that you're a puppet with strings attached. I call this the Ola bump. That came from a doctor who didn't know what it was called. One of my student parents said, "Don't just call it the Ola bump, because this is your Ola bone right here, and this is the end of that bone. And it works great, Ola bump up. So if you keep your Ola bump up, then you're going to have your arm in more of the correct position. So when you do the suspended arm exercise, you pretend that you have strings attached, so you're just coming up like this. Keep your shoulders totally relaxed. Make sure your head doesn't come forward. All right, so you've got a string here too. All right, so actually watch me first and then you're going to do it. Okay. So then you bring your elbows out as if there were suction cups on each elbow and there was a fisherman pulling your arms out like that. And notice what my hands look like. They're totally floppy. I'm just letting them be floppy. And they're actually making this shape here of what shape is that? It's kind of like a triangle, or like the Eiffel Tower. You're talking about the Eiffel Tower in a different way, but this is kind of like making the Eiffel Tower here. And notice that I'm stopping at shoulder, or for some people they feel like it's neck height right here. Then I'm going to just float. Okay, so I'm so loose that if I went like this, I'm kind of using my imagination for that one, but very relaxed, all right? And then we're going to flip your arm out and then do a circle here. So this is not exactly like a bow stroke, but it's getting your shoulder under your control. Almost looks like a training wheel in a way, with a floppy hand hanging down here. All right, so this part of your arm right here is going to be at that much of a slope. So I call that the 20-degree angle. Don't go try to figure it out, mathematically, but just know that your elbow needs to be lower than your Ola bump. And so when you do this, some people call this like swimming stroke, like you can kind of imagine that it looks sort of like that. So you're going to always have this higher than that. See, it's higher, this higher than that, this higher. So I'm leading up with my Ola bump, or my wrist, and I'm leaning down with my elbow, because that's how our arm works naturally. So pretend that I'm holding a cookie in my hand. So I'm going to hold it up next to your head, and you're going to reach for it and then put it in your mouth. All right? So here we go. So take this hand and reach up and grab the cookie. Yeah, and now put it in your mouth. Okay, now, you did that without having to think very hard, right? That's easy to do because we're always reaching up for stuff. The cookie over here. But so when you did that, what led up? Your hand or your elbow? Okay, if your elbow led up, your hand, yeah, right, so you're overthinking it. Everybody overthinks that one. So, because if you led up with your elbow, you probably look like this. That'd be sort of odd, right? Okay, so you just did this, and then when you put it in your mouth, what led? Your elbow. So that's how our arm works naturally. So we have that knowledge that will help us with our bow arm, okay? So, now, it's your turn to do the suspended arm exercise, and I'm actually going to help you do this. All right? So, you start out, first just really think about keeping your shoulders really relaxed throughout, okay? So, go ahead and bring your hands up. Very good. Okay, very good. So I'm going to help with this part. As we come down, we're going to make our Ola bumps come up like that. We call that pronating our forearms. We go like this, like we're looking at our watch on both arms, like that. Okay, so yeah, that was really easy for me to do, and you kept your hands floppy without me having to say anything. That's kind of unusual. Most people don't leave their hands floppy. Now, I'm going to help move. So if I'm moving this arm, should this arm be moving? Are they connected? Well, you You know, if you put it on, then that's gonna happen, right? But did you see what I went like this? Okay, so I want you to do that. So use your imagination, blow right there and let this arm move. See, that arm didn't move, now do it over here. Yeah, you do have to use your imagination, right? I mean, it's really not really good, but it helps, you know, to get your arm, do your shoulders feel really relaxed? Okay, they look great. Now we're gonna flip this hand out here. All right, now I'm gonna help you do this. So keep your shoulder really relaxed. Keep your own, so I don't want you to hang the weight of your arm on my hands, okay? So all I'm doing is guiding. You're keeping your own arm up in there. So we're leading up here, and when we get here, we lead down, so you see that sloping angle there. Okay. So it's your turn. So keep your hand floppy the whole time. Yeah. Ooh, nice. I want to be right in front of anybody.
Jan, probably about 5 minutes?
5 minutes, okay, thank you. Yeah, you're doing great with this. That hand stay nice and floppy. All right, so that actually is going to help you in when you do this 4-part set, and then after the 4-part set, you learn to do the continuous set, but I usually have my students do the 4-part set for quite a while to get that feeling that this is easy to do, okay? So again, you're leading up here. This, if you make it a little pivot point right there, your hand does not fall down. Your hand comes up, and then the elbow leads down. Okay, so now let's do it again with the violin. So these things, these exercises all go together in keeping everything nice and relaxed. So remember that this is going to really feel different, I know. Okay, because this has been holding on to your bow. Captain Hook, sometimes that's referred to as Captain Hook. If Captain Hook shows up on your bow, then he takes over. All right, the Captain Hook only shows up because the pinky and this finger not doing their job. So if you want to keep the pirate away, you have to make the pinky and your third finger hugger, I call these the gentle huggers, do their job. All right, now we're going to lean or roll, maybe roll's a better word for you. Roll the bow here up against your thumb. Okay, so I'm going to help you to bring your bow over, and let's just go all the way over to the G string this time, and you can get that kind of feeling that when you're doing this circle, this is actually the same position that you would be in doing that circle. Okay, so like right there, and we're going to straight down, like we have it up here. So this is very relaxing here. And now, when you do the pinky wiggle, just straighten your pinky a couple times like that. Ooh, awesome. Okay, great. And the pinky needs to be on the inside octagonal, or I like to think of it as the ridge, that the nail is actually going up over the ridge that's created by the inside octagonal and the top octagonal of the bow. Okay, so can you relax your shoulder here? Aha, right, exactly. And you're leaning the bow here up against your thumb. So let's check for flexibility. Nice. Okay, now, let's get make sure your knees are forward. Leaning on the jaw rest. Is your shoulder relaxed? Very good. Okay, now let's do a couple of bow lifts. So you're going to lift, leading up here and leading down here. So up, down. Okay, relax here. Up, down. Now that time, your hand did what comes naturally, which is you're holding the bow, and your hand did this. I mean, what comes naturally when you're holding the bow is that you want to get rid of the bow onto the string, so your hand comes down. Is the elbow that is actually the natural motion. So you want to make sure that we're lowering, leading down with the elbow. All right. So this has to do with just setting your bow on the string, which we have to do. We have to retake our bow, reset it all the time in the playing, right? Lots and lots. Okay, so lead up, lead down. So your pinky's going to be doing a lot of work. It didn't have to be that time, as I said. Okay. Up and then down. And let's let your hand hang from your wrist. Can you get that feeling? In fact, let me have your bow for a second. So just let go of your bow, but keep the position. So let your hand hang. Totally hang. There we go. Now I'm going to get your I'm gonna give you back the bow. It's gonna, when you set it on the string, it actually raises your hand up a little bit, but it still feels like it's hanging. So here it's setting, it's not hanging quite as much when I'm setting it on the string, and the huggers are folded over. Okay? All right, so relax right in here. It's hard to tell with a heavy sweater on if that's relaxed or not. You know, we were talking about staying in lane 4, but you have to feel comfortable staying in lane 4, which is why now we're doing this next step, which is to get you comfortable in lane 4. So let's do the full part set. Think about this staying really relaxed. So I'm going to help you do this part, and teachers in here, you know, you can help your students do this. So we went to the G string level, and we're going to lead down there. Okay, so notice we landed right at the finger and we landed in lane 4. So now, we're going to do one last thing. I'd like you to do frog, I call these frog moves. So you're going to swing your arm like this, all right? And you're only going to go to about there. So you're only going to use about 4 inches of bow. And relax right in here. And let the bow rest up against your thumb. Okay, now do the swing. To opening here, you actually won't need to open there at all. The only joint that's needed is, yeah, your shoulder. That's the only one. Okay, so let's do it again. Ready? Go. And then you use your fingers to help control the weight, like getting your pinky finger to control the weight. But that's that swinging exercise. Then I'd like you to actually practice doing that, like you do 4 bows on the G, 4 on the D, 4 on the A, 4 on the D, and then you can come out, okay? All right, so this looked a lot more comfortable in lane 4 than when you first did lane 4, because this is kind of down here like this, right? And then it's hard to pull it in. The more you pull it in, the harder it gets. So if you get that feeling of hanging the hand, you feel that? Good. Okay, wonderful. Very well.